Hello everyone, how are you? I hope everybody's doing well. If it's your first time visiting the Chronicle of a Serial Guitar Buyer series, do me a favor, check out the episode 1 and episode 2 and a pilot introduction episode as well that I made. If you are returning for the episode number 3, thank you for coming back and I appreciate your time watching the episode 1 and 2. Okay, so the episode 1 was all the shredder guitars in my collection, and episode 2 dealt with all the quote-unquote metal-centric guitars that are in my collection. And today is episode 3 where I show you the single-cut guitars that I have. Obviously, some of the guitars kind of overlap, like the episode 2 had Wild Audio Odin Grail from Zakk Wylde, which is basically a Les Paul knockoff, which would have been a single cut guitar, but I felt that was more metal, so that guitar got shifted to that collection. So today you're just gonna see a lot of Les Pauls and Les Paul lookalikes. So let's not hesitate and let's jump right in and get started. So way over there on the top row, that is one of my prized possessions. That's the Gibson / Rosso Corsa signature Les Paul. Beautiful flame maple top, just sweet. Has a very special headstock to it, vintage looking tuners. One of my very favorite. One of those guitars that I just can't see why or when I would ever part with. And then to next of the slash is the Gibson Studio High Performance Sunburst. So I got that guitar used. So it's got all the usual appointments of the high performance. So the fretboard is wider. It has a very special nut and it has a G-force tuner in the back, which, by the way, a lot of people are complaining about the G-force tuners, but I don't know. I found the G-force tuning system to be pretty cool. You can use the tuning system to instantly just to shift your pitches from this and that at a just really push of a button. I really like that guitar actually, and I do love the wider fretboard. But even if you take away all the gadgetries and the stuff that Gibson did to modernize the guitar, even then, just as the guitar alone by itself, I feel it's a pretty solid guitar. And neck profile is pretty thin too, which is one of the one of the factors that contributed to me getting that particular guitar. All right, so we'll take a little bit of a left turn here, and we're gonna go to PRS line of guitars, the single cuts that I have. The third one that you see right there is PRS Mark Tremonti signature guitar in fire red, just gorgeous flame maple top. And that was a guitar that I've got when PRS started to do the silhouette vert inlays. That thing cost me a healthy coin. I didn't get any discount on that. I paid the street price straight up. Got that guitar, but I tell you what, it is a 10 top, so it obviously looks beautiful, plays wonderfully. All right, so moving on from the US Tremonti, we go to SE series of Tremonti, which is the black one right there. So that obviously is imported from Korea, from World Music Factory, solidly built guitar, and there's just nothing on that guitar that just shouldn't be there. It's just a straight up, it's built for one thing and one thing only, and definitely channels the spirit of the US version right next to it. Obviously, instead of a contour top, it has more of a bevel top, just solid color finish, and the bridge system is a lot more simplified, but very similar in terms of a feel on the neck and so on and so forth. Great guitar, and again, That's like a $600 some odd brand new, and you know, again, another one of those guitars that punch way above the weight. So it performs a lot more and better than what it costs. Okay, so moving from that is we're gonna jump back to US PRS. So this, to me, gorgeous red finish PRS single cut SC245. 245 obviously represents 24.5 inches scale. It has just a moon inlay and the SC series of pickups, and it has the hybrid bridge that you see on the Korean-made version guitar right there. But the knobs are smooth. It is gorgeous. The maple top, body binding, spot on. And you know, I don't really often see solid color finish US PRS, but that one has that red finish, which I really love that red, by the way. Albeit I'm colorblind, I can see that that is a great red. Okay, so not exactly colorblind. I think they call me color deficient. So that's, there's a bit of a clarification there. Beautiful guitar, plays wonderfully. And you know, it's another one of those guitars where, you know, people would argue why PRS single cuts play better than Les Pauls. So another one of those. I got that. It was brand new, but it was a kind of a new old stock over at a dealer here local, and I ended up getting that really cheap. I forget what I paid, but at the time I remember walking away feeling like I stole it. So great guitar. All right, so we're gonna move back to the traditional single cut definition. So that's a Gibson Les Paul Joe Bonamassa signature. So it has that gold top finish. It's a little bit darker gold than other gold that I have, gold top, but it's got that black pickguard along with the four knobs that are, you know, two different looking knobs. I forget how they call that. So it's got that gold top on the top and the side and the back, you know, solid black. The neck of that guitar is probably the most chunky neck in my collection. It is big, it is thick. And then as far as guitars are concerned, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a tone snob, because I'm clearly not. But generally, I prefer guitars that are very throaty and just thick and chunky, just kind of like a punch right in your gut kind of a tone. And that guitar embodies that, which is what I normally look for in a guitar. So great signature guitar. Like I always say, signature guitars need to be able to stand on, you know, on its own, even if it's detached from the artist's name that is attached to it. And that guitar, even without Joe's name attached to it, I feel is a great guitar and great value looking for a Les Paul. Granted, does not have a figured maple top, does not have a body binding, stuff like that, but just a straight up rock and roll, heavy rock, just blow up the roof kind of, you know, tone. Excellent guitar. All right, the Les Paul that you see right here, Cherry Burst, Gibson Les Paul traditional, is it Pro or Plus? I forget. So that guitar is very special to me, near and dear to my heart. Got the just plain maple top, which I find gorgeous, by the way. Body binding, neck binding. It's got satin finish on the side and the back. Definitely has glossy finish on the front. Beautifully done cherry finish. Doesn't have the pull tabs and locking tuners. Asymmetrical neck profile, which at the time when I bought that guitar was not very common in Gibson lineup, if my memory serves correct. So the reason why that guitar is special to me is that was my very first Gibson Les Paul. Before I had a couple Epiphone Les Pauls and what have you. Nothing wrong with the Epiphone Les Pauls. I loved those guitars. They, you know, they did great for me. more guitar than what I really need. It's still, even if it's Epiphone. But that was my first Gibson. I just remember getting it out of the box at the Guitar Center Pasadena, opening it up, and just the smell of that case. I think it's vanilla. Just that smell and the way the shine was just coming through as I opened the case. It was just beautiful. I really, really, really a special guitar to me. All right, so that was a special Gibson Les Paul Traditional for me. And then I love that guitar so much to a point, I bought the exact same guitar, but in gold top finish. So it's the exact same thing, same model year, same everything. What I did change though, is I stripped out the Gibson pickups. I think it was Burstbucker and maybe Classic. But whatever it was, I stripped those out, and then I put in Sir Doug Aldrich pickups. And guitar took a whole new persona afterwards. As far as the tone is concerned, exact same guitar. I love the tone that's out of the Sir pickups. It just has just a lot more attitude, right? That's the right word, yeah, attitude. And again, it just shows up like a schoolyard bully and just kind of takes over. So that's that. Again, love the asymmetrical neck, satin finish neck, so it's just really easy, smooth up and down the neck. Awesome. Okay, so it is pretty well-known fact on my channel if you watch my videos. I'm a big-time lover of Esp Edwards series. Again, if you're not familiar with the Edwards series, it's an offshoot brand that Esp does, just like they do LTD. So they make Edwards brand for their like a Japanese market. They're within their own country and like Far East Asian countries. And that's the reason why they can do the exact same Gibson Les Paul headstock and the exact body design. They don't have to tweak any of it because they're not selling it here after the Gibson lawsuit. Basically, so I have to fly them in. Any Edwards that I have, either I flew them in from Japan or I bought them used here in America. But anyhow, this absolute beauty is Edwards John Sykes model. Notice I didn't say signature model because it's not. John Sykes' signature model would have been with Gibson. So this is inspired by that signature model. So it's got very Gibson custom look, right? Custom Les Paul look. It's got multiply binding, traditional the stop tail and pneumatic bridge situation, Duncan pickups, traditional layout, mirror pickguard, huge ass block inlay, ebony fretboard, binding, the multiply binding carries through the headstock. What a guitar. I don't care that it's not the exact same guitar John Sykes play. From a distance you can't tell. And this actually is the guitar that gives me enough, the vibe, so that I don't have jonesing for an actual Gibson Les Paul custom, which costs basically on arm and a leg. So this does me just fine. An awesome guitar, which is very similar to the one I'm going to show you right next to it, which is basically the same thing. It's very much inspired by Gibson Les Paul custom. It's got very off-white, almost yellow, creamy look, but the multiple body binding, the stop tail two pneumatic bridge situation with the Les Paul layout, all of that carries through, and that is inspired by Randy Road by Esp Edwards. So again, an awesome guitar, huge neck, even bigger neck than the Sykes model right here. It's one of my recent acquisitions. I think that was 2018. But what can I say? It is heavy. It is every inch, every bit of Les Paul, even though it does not say Gibson on the headstock. Based on these two and other Edwards that I've already shown you and I will show you in future episodes, if you have been considering one, well, actually, you know what? I was going to say, if you have been considering one, run out and get one because they represent such great value. But then again, I don't know the quality of them, how they come out lately. Because I heard a rumor that Edwards have moved from Japanese factory to Chinese factory. Not that I have anything against Chinese factory, because a bunch of guitars come out of China factories just fine. But I can't endorse because I haven't had one from Edwards. Okay, so with that in mind, we jump over, and that is a used guitar that I bought. By the way, so that was used. This was a used guitar. So that's Gibson Les Paul Standard in wine red finish. I think it's like 1998, I believe. So it's got different set of pickups. I forget the pickup combination. But as far as, you know, when I want, because notice I don't actually have a Gibson Standard. When I bought that guitar, I didn't have the Slash. I had the traditionals and the Studio, but I did not have Gibson Standard, so I felt like that was a great value at Guitar Center. It was available as a used guitar. I made them an offer that was lower than what the sticker had, and they accepted, so I put money down and I got it. Great guitar. Just, again, like I said earlier, throaty and chunky and just buttery smooth when you flip over to the neck pickup. Just a straight up rock machine. That's what, you know, those standards are what made Gibson Standard, you know, legendary. The gimmickry, the gimmicks and the things that are prevalent in today's, you know, I'm sure there are great guitars, the 2018 models and 2019 models, but I don't have those. I haven't felt a need to go run out and get those. That Standard right there is just right on the money. All right, then one right next to it is one of those guitars which I will share some stories with you. So I have like 70, 80 guitars. As I'm doing this collection videos, I got so many to a point where I'm breaking them up into multiple episodes. You may wonder, why does that guy have so many guitars? What's the need? You know, does he even get to play all those guitars? All valid questions, by the way. So, you know, I could go 2.5 months, nearly 3 months straight every day playing one guitar a day and not have to have the same guitar twice until I get to that 3rd month, which is just asinine. And nobody needs as many guitars as I do. Nobody should have as many guitars as I do, but somehow I ended up here. It's a sickness. I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. Now that said, that Newcastle guitar that you see is one of those guitars that I actually never play. It is always hung on the wall in my home office, and it never ever gets played. It's a straight up a display piece. I got it from a client who did an event for Newcastle, and that client also had a Guitar Center as a client. So they had a bunch of those guitars. After the promotion was ended, there were a bunch of spares, so I was lucky enough to get one. And it's a Michael Kelly Patriot, I think is the model. It's got some cheap Soap Bar P90 lookalike pickups in there, hybrid bridge system. It plays horribly. It is a bolt-on. The neck is really bowed, so but it's okay. It looks cool. It has a cool man cave vibe. It's a hung on the wall. It's cool to look at. That's where it ends. So there you go. There's a guitar that I actually never ever play. All other guitars, I, you know, rotate them out. I pick them out of the case and I mess with every now and then, so they all get equal love. That one does not. All right, then final guitar of the day today is the, by the way, before I get to the final guitar, here's how absurd things are here in my Triple G household. I'm actually missing a guitar. I don't know where it is. I actually have, you remember the Tremonti PRS SE import version, the solid black one? I actually have a flame maple top version of PRS SE Tremonti. I know I have one. I don't know where it is. I don't know where that guitar is. So it would have been showing up in this episode, but it's not here. It's basically that guitar with a flame maple top. Okay, so now that takes us to the final guitar of the day. That is a Jericho Fusion Evertune one of the recent acquisitions I have. It's got Seymour Duncan 59 and what is it? JB. Very typical combination you would find. However, the pickups take on a whole new personality I noticed in that walnut body where, you know, the run-of-the-mill tone that I was accustomed to out of that pickup set, all gone. That just attack is brutal and the tone is just epic coming out of that guitar. It's a heavy as F. With the Evertune bridge, it does not go out of tune. Neck is a little thick for my taste, but the black inlays make it look classy. I don't care about the way the headstock looks. It is what it is. The locking tuners, great appointment, satin finish with the walnut. It's just all money. So it's got great appointments. I think it's reasonably priced. Maybe 100 or 150 overpriced, but I don't have a problem with the price that it came with. But it's heavy. If you're a gigging guitar player and you have to do an hour-and-a-half set, I don't know if that's a guitar for you because it is heavy, but the tone is absolutely chunky. All right, so I'm hoping this episode is actually a lot shorter than the previous two episodes, episode 1 and 2. So you may have seen, maybe it feels like I may have rushed through just a bit, but I wanted to make the episode bearable for you to sit through and watch as I take you through the journey of the collection that it is, my guitar collection here at the Triple G compound. But I really love Gibson Les Pauls, single cuts. As you have noticed, I'm more of a single cut kind of a guy than a Strat. I only have like 2 Strats, although I do own a bunch of super Strats. So there you go. This wraps up the episode 3. So there you go. That's been the episode 3 today. I've been Triple G. You've been awesome for tuning in. I thank you for your time watching. Until next time, you guys all take care. Triple G out.